Hey, it's Chris Aiken from the Classic Metal Show. Most people know me as the foul-mouthed shock jock from the Classic Metal Show, or the no-nonsense heavy metal critic from pitriff.com. Now you get to learn the other side. My first book, Little Victories, A Tale of Divorce, Debauchery, and Finding Happiness, comes out on January 13th in paperback and digital formats on Amazon and iTunes. It details my real-world emotional struggles over a year that included a divorce after a quarter-century of marriage and the death of my father. It profiles things I did right, as well as a bevy of things that I did wrong with the help of alcohol, and how I found my way out of the muck of the emotional state that almost saw me commit suicide. Pre-order your copy of Little Victories, A Tale of Divorce, Debauchery, and Finding Happiness today at www.chrisaikenbooks.com and get in touch with the more fallible side of me, Chris Aiken. Sounds happy, huh?
From the last Ratt release, studio release that is Infestation with Eat Me Up Alive, a return to the traditional Ratt sound. And I don't know about you, but that CD just kicked some major ass. It had a very traditional Ratt sound to it, and it fits very comfortably right in the middle of their catalog. So it's been rumored that Ratt has been working on a brand new CD. Bobby Blotzer disputes it. They said there is no CD. Stephen Pearcy said that they're working on a CD. Blotzer has been shooting his mouth off here the last couple of weeks, just being kind of a ridiculous boob, as he normally is. But apparently, we covered this a little bit last week on the show, Chris, and Blotzer's been shooting his mouth off about Stephen and Juan.
Right.
And we talked about how Blotzer, for whatever reason, I don't even know the reason. I've actually asked Juan last year when we were with them, what is it with Blotzer disliking him so much?
Right.
And he said, dude, I wish I knew the answer. So anyway, Blotzer's been shooting his mouth off using his social media for, airing band business out there and saying that Stephen quit the band, and Stephen, shot a press release out saying, I didn't quit the band. I'm not quitting. I'll see you guys on that cruise coming up here, next week?
Right.
And guess what?
What?
Bobby's not doing the cruise.
Imagine that. His neck hurts.
Yeah. Apparently, Bobby supposedly, well, I guess he did, have some kind of surgery on some kind of vertebrae in his neck back in October. And Jimmy DeGrasso, who we know, very friendly guy, great drummer, just no pretentiousness with this guy. I mean, you hung out with Jimmy a couple of times, and I've hung out with him several times, and we've had him on the show, and admittedly, again, right at the top of the heap when it comes to some of the nicest guys in the music business that you could ever know.
Sure, Jimmy rules.
Yeah. Well, he filled in for some Ratt shows around NAMM back in January. And apparently Bobby is not ready to play and tour, but he's been shooting his mouth off about Stephen and Juan, saying that there's problems within the Ratt camp. But we've been hearing this literally for 2 years now, right?
Yeah, for 2 solid years.
Yeah, and it's always Bobby. You never see Warren posting anything. You never see Stephen posting anything. It's always Bobby out there running his yap all the time, talking about, Stephen isn't stepping up to the plate and he's unreasonable and Juan is the problem and this and that and on and on and on. Well, there's a cruise coming up here. What is it called? The Rock and Roll Cruise? Or
Monsters of Rock.
Monsters of Rock Cruise. And our good friend Ron Keel is going to be on that.
Yeah, lots of CMS people. Tony from Kansas City's going. Amy Rocks is going. Quite a few CMS people going.
Sure. Well, apparently Ratt is one of the headliners on this cruise. And guess what? Everybody in the Ratt camp is going except Bobby.
Yeah, well, he's hurt.
Well, that's what he says, but he says, hey, my dear Ratt friends. So just a heads up regarding the Monsters of Rock cruise next week. My neck is not playing ball. So I'll be getting more cortisone next week to crush the burning pain that doesn't want to let me be in peace. Too much stress. So sorry I can't be there to rip for you and really don't know when I'll see you all again.
Right.
What does that mean? I don't know when I'll see you all again?
Yeah, it means I'm not playing with those fuckers again.
Yeah. Now, till then, enjoy the cruise. Lots of good friends playing and attending. Say hi to Carlos Cavazzo for me. Isn't that a weird thing to say?
Not say hi to the Rat gang.
Yeah, say hi to Carlos for me, like he can't pick up the phone and say hi to Carlos himself.
Apparently not.
It won't be the same, but right. As I always say, the more you drink, the better we sound. Peace, love, and bon voyage. So
Bobby is such a douche.
So the question is, is Bobby sidelined due to his neck, which there's a high probability that is the case, or have the other guys had just enough of him and said, you know what, we're going to roll on as Rat. You need to stay behind.
I think either way, he'll claim he has a pain in the neck, and it's probably true no matter which side you look at.
Well, I think he's got a pain in the neck, but more or less he's more a pain in the ass.
Yeah, it's a figurative pain in the neck, right?
Right. So your assessment, Mr. Aiken, is it a literal physical thing keeping Bobby sidelined, or do you think the other guys in Ratt have just had enough of him and told him, you know what, just stay home?
I don't think they told him to stay home.
No
way. They've done too many fucking shows where they hate each other and tell him to stay home. I think he might have told them he was staying home.
Yeah, like they're gonna miss him, right?
Well, but he's kind of the business manager, though.
Is he?
Well, he's like the guy. He's like the contact guy for Ratt.
Is he? I'm not aware. I don't know.
I mean, they have management, yes, but Bobby is like the guy. When you go to request Ratt interviews or whatever, you end up getting Bobby or Carlos.
Okay.
Those are the two guys.
All right. I didn't know that. This is the first I'm hearing this, so I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, it's those two that are the talkers from the band, and you know Bobby owns the name, so Bobby, I'm sure, hired the management, and I think Bobby does have some pain. I think he could have probably played through it, but he's like, fuck it, why should I? He's been out there bitching that Stephen cost him all this money in the last 6 weeks by not wanting to play gigs and blah 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 blah. So this is his little hey fuck you moment.
Yeah, but the thing is he really? I mean, what difference does it make if they bring Jimmy DeGrasso on board for these shows?
Because, dude, I think Bobby thinks that he's more important than he is.
Well, he's not, because I've seen Jimmy play, and you've seen Jimmy play, and that guy's just a consummate gentleman and a professional.
Yeah, but you've met Bobby. Bobby thinks that everybody only listens to Ratt because of Bobby.
Yeah, right. Well, whatever.
Bobby does not believe that Stephen adds anything to the band.
I know how put off he was when I handed him the phone and you talked to him when I was out there at the hotel with them.
Well, I didn't do us any favors that night.
It doesn't matter.
I don't care.
But he was wearing the CMS shirt the next day on the plane.
Sure. But don't you think, though, dude, Bobby truly believes that Stephen adds nothing to the band?
You know what? Stephen is the band. I mean, granted, you know, the other guys have important parts to it, but it's Stephen and Warren.
That's what I think.
It's always the singer and guitarist. I know we've made this point a million times, but it's always the singer and the guitarist. Always.
Yeah, Bobby means nothing. Nobody in the Ratt, if Steven's out of the band, they're in clubs. When Steven's in the band, they're not in clubs.
Yeah, they get to play in front of festivals.
Yeah, if Bobby's not there, no one will even fucking know. It's the same situation. I hate to say it because I know we're friends with this guy. Same exact situation with Wild Mick.
That's true.
Wild Mick Brown shows up for about a quarter of the gigs, you know, when he's not out with Nugent or whatever he does. I don't know what he does. But whatever it is that Wild Mick is doing, no one gives a fuck whether he's there or not, really. There's like 10 fans that are like, oh, this fucking sucks. It's Jimmy instead of Mick. But most fans don't give a shit.
No, they want to hear the songs. That's it.
And hell, Dokken did those shows. They did that one, the year that they were on tour with Poison and Sebastian.
Right.
And they had a different bass player and drummer.
Yeah, they had Chris Carvel, and they had
Jim played some, and they had like 4 drummers.
Yeah, Bobby Rock played, and the guy from Badlands.
Oh, Tony Martin.
Yeah, Tony Martin played some.
Yeah.
Hail and Kill caller, you're on the air.
Okay, all anyone's concerned about is the new album, right? Because apparently they owe Roadrunner one more album, whatever.
I don't know, to be honest with you, but regardless.
Yeah, they do. They owe Roadrunner one more album.
Have you been drinking,
the
Tim?
The thing is, no. Anyway, when I drink, I start to walk straighter.
Then find a peer.
The thing I was going to say is, if Bobby owns the name,
50%. He and DeMartini are 50-50.
Okay, so basically, DeMartini can say, well, we're just going to continue on, and we're just going to be Ratt, and you can just stay home. Even though that's Chris said that's not what's happened. I'm just wondering, because I seem to think Bobby is the guy that just tries to sabotage everything, from what I can understand.
I don't know. I think that Bobby is an egomaniac, and he every once in a while flexes it. And in the old days, those guys fucking bowed down to him. That's why Jizzy Pearl was in the band for 10 years or whatever. Because really, Warren, from everything I've ever read, Warren never had a problem with Stephen. I've never seen him say that, yeah, there was a problem, ever. So it was Bobby who had no problem saying that he hated Stephen. And, what, again, like we said last week, these guys need to just fucking settle it, deal with it, get a different bus, whatever. Just meet on stage to play your 90 minutes and get the fuck off. Make your money.
But basically, Ratt can continue without Bobby if Warren says we're just going to go on.
But they're not going to do that and give up half the purse, and that's really legally what it would end up being.
Yeah. Okay. Hail and kill.
I mean, that's what it would be. If they're getting paid $30,000 a night, they're going to give fucking Bobby Blotzer $15,000 to sit home? No fucking way that happens.
Nope.
No way that happens.
What would end up happening is that they would form a new entity, and depending on what DeMartini wanted to do, right, if he wanted to join the other camp, right, they would just go out as a different as the same lineup under maybe a different name of some sort.
Yeah, they'd be the Rat Bastards or whatever.
Yeah, whatever. So, what a shame. I hate it. I love the band Ratt. I do. I enjoy them. I like that last record. That's why I played that tune. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, why don't you guys stop it already? Right. Knock it off. Stupid. You're more valuable when you guys cooperate and play together and do what you do. But when you start, doing this, you just ruin everything. And especially this, and the problem I have with Blotzer, and again, everybody has their disagreements within business. Mm-hmm. So stop taking to the social media and putting it out there.
Yeah, solve it between yourselves. Get your lawyer, get everybody in a room, whatever, and fucking solve it.
You're 50-something years old. Stop using the Twitter and the Facebook. Knock it off already.
Yeah, Facebook is not where you solve fucking $1 million problems.
Stupid.
And let's face it, it is $1 million problem.
It is.
It's $1 million worth of obligations and gigs and, record and all that shit, merch, etc. Don't solve it by fucking playing fan favorite on the fucking Twitter, you fucking dummy.
That's so stupid.
It is stupid.
It's just like, this is a band problem. This is not a fan problem.
Yeah, you're not a chick. You're a businessman. So be a fucking businessman.
Look at Jackal.
Can hook up with Thayer, huh, Jackal?
Right. Well, look at Angie Dawkins. She knows. Oh, my God, Bobby is on it every day. It's like,
right.
Dude, get a life, okay? You got lucky in the 80s, and you're lucky 25 years later that anybody wants to even hear you. So you should be thanking your lucky stars.
Yeah. He really should be, but he doesn't. He's not. And honestly, I don't know that Stephen is either, to be honest. To be honest, I don't want to take Stephen's side either and just be like, oh, Bobby's a dick. And
I'm not taking anybody's side. I'm just talking about in general. You guys work your problem out and get it solved and just deal with it.
It's just two monster egos is what it is. Only Stephen doesn't put it all out there.
No, he doesn't put it out there at all.
But it's two monster egos, because I think with Bobby, he's like, fuck you, Stephen, I'll just replace you. And Stephen is like, well, fuck you, I'll just fucking do solo records.
Right.
And they both get in these fuck you battles instead of ever. What they ought to do is fucking neither one of them say anything to each other and just fucking let Warren run the band.
Well, it's just like what Vince Neil and the rest of Motley Crue does. He travels on his own bus. The rest of Motley Crue does their thing. He comes out, does the show. They go their separate ways at the end of the night, and it's over.
Right.
Period. So stop with the nonsense.
Yeah, I agree.
It's just dumb. It's like I'm a fan. I like, obviously, we've had Steven on the show many times, and he's a funny guy, and I really like him as a person. And I like the band as a band, and I like these guys personally. Warren and Carlos, and I got to know Juan this year for the first time.
Sure.
And very friendly guy. I hung out with him like 3 times last year.
Mm-hmm.
And he was really nice. I like those guys on a personal level, and I like them as a band. I just wish they'd stop the nonsense.
Right.
Just stop it already. Just go work. Just go play your freaking shows and just deal with it.
Yeah, get your check and be done with it.
Just dumb.
It is dumb.
So, whatever. It's like, dudes, you don't have that much more shelf life, so why don't you just ride it out for what it's worth and be done with it?
Yep.
So, Ratt is lucky they're still around in 2014.
Yeah, because their expiration date was 20 years ago.
It really is.
Honestly, I mean, their expiration date was Nobody Rides for Free.
It was.
That was their last hurrah. They got lucky, and Infestation was a good record, but Ratt's been done forever. They turned into a cover band for 10 fucking years.
And somehow, some way, they're able to, whatever the interest is in the music business, they've been able to play some pretty sizable festivals and still have a fairly successful touring career.
It's because those first 3 records are so fucking solid.
Right.
That's the only reason why. It's because people still, I mean, obviously Round and Round is played every fucking day on classic rock.
Right.
And in every strip club and everything else. But those first 3 records, were cornerstones for all of us 80s metal people.
Sure.
They were the first band that was commercially poppy but had some edge. They were like Bon Jovi without the pussiness.
Right.
And they were the first ones. Motley Crue was kind of dirty sleaze rock, and then it got cleaned up to Bon Jovi. And then Ratt took it back to being dirty but still major league catchy.
Sure.
And that's why they were huge.
I agree. Hail and Kill Caller, you're on the air.
Okay, not sure I agree with Chris about dancing undercover, but here's a question. Okay, so you guys reckon that Dokken's like worth 20 to 30 grand a night, and Ratt's about the same. How much do you reckon Dokken would be worth with Lynch, and how much do you reckon a band like Motley Crue is worth a night as opposed to like an Aerosmith or something?
Well, I can tell you as a fact, okay, that if we're going to go into comparisons here, I know for a fact that somebody like Ted Nugent, okay, gets about 32,000.
Who is a legend?
Okay, he gets about 32,000 a night. Okay, 90-minute show, 32,000. Bon Jovi, strangely enough, one of the very few bands that have come out of the 80s and still can do a crossover and sell an arena. They're in the about the $200,000 to $250,000 range. Bon Jovi.
Well, just on Bon Jovi, I reckon that if he tours again without Richie, I reckon his guarantee is going to go down, because I don't reckon people are going to swallow that, quite frankly.
That's subjective, but Motley Crue, I'm thinking that Motley Crue is probably in the 150 to 175 range.
Probably.
Yeah.
And I disagree with Tim on the Bon Jovi thing, because Bon Jovi is not a band that has a real loyal hardcore following. Bon Jovi is just fucking
You
casual.
think?
No, they have totally a casual fan base. They do not have. They have a fan base that'll buy every record, but never read the credits. You know, they're a soccer mom base. That's who listens to Bon Jovi.
Yeah, maybe.
They're not going to be sitting there going, "What? Richie Sambora didn't write all these songs?" There's no way that's happening.
They're still playing. They were still playing arenas even after Richie Sambora was dismissed.
And that was a big public.
Yeah, but didn't those tickets go on sale before they announced he wasn't going to be doing the tour?
But they did a second leg, and those tickets went on sale after he got dismissed, and they were still playing the arenas.
Oh, cool. Well, I didn't know that. That's why you guys are the metal experts.
For metal experts, please.
Fuck you, Tim.
But anyway, since we're talking music and metal and all this other stuff,
yeah,
I had read an article here online that basically one of these Texas towns, let me see here, basically paid Ted Nugent not to play their festival.
Really?
Yeah, because of his quote unquote his flamboyant remarks about President Obama being a subhuman mongrel.
Okay, well, why? They don't like honesty at their festival?
Well, they didn't. He's paid $16,000 not to play the local event.
Good for him.
Rocker Ted Nugent just made big bucks not to show up somewhere. The town of Longview, Texas, paid Nugent $16,000 not to appear at the town's 4th of July festival.
Wow.
City spokesman said Nugent was not the right feel for this kind of community event.
You know what I would have done if I was Ted? I would have taken that $16,000 and I would have bought every billboard near that fucking venue and wrote those words back up there.
Right.
Obama is a fucking subhuman mongrel.
Right. The city had reached a verbal agreement with Nugent, scheduling the rocker as the headliner who would play inside the Mod Cobb Convention and Activity Center during the town's Independence Day celebration. To break that agreement, the town paid Nugent half of his guaranteed performance fee of $32,000.
Wow.
The move comes amid criticism of comments Nugent made about President Barack Obama in January, calling him a subhuman mongrel.
What's wrong with that?
Ted Nugent, who campaigned with Texas Attorney General and gubernatorial candidate Greg Abbott amid the controversy, apologized for those comments in February.
Wow.
And blah, blah, blah. So basically, they canceled his contract and paid half of his guarantee.
You know who's a subhuman mongrel? Michelle Obama's mom. You've been reading about this?
I don't know anything about that. This is the first I'm hearing that her mom has made the news.
Oh, yeah. Well, her mom is on... Of course, we're yet again paying for a fucking vacation for Michelle and her mom and her kids. And this time they're off to China.
Okay.
And I guess her cunt fucking useless mother is driving like the hotel staff crazy with all her ordering around like she's something. Okay. It's like, you fucking stupid cunt hole. Your whole level of importance on this world was spitting out this fucking bitch.
Chewbacca.
Yeah, that's it. You spit out Chewbacca out of your pussy. That's your fucking claim to fame, bitch. Another bitch coming out of your fucking skank hole.
Right.
So, fuck you. Stupid cunt. I wish she'd have been on Malaysian 370.
Wow.
That's what I wish. I wish she would have gone down with the ship.
Sure. Hail and kill caller, you're on the air.
Well, I was going to make a couple comments about Ratt and Bon Jovi, but you're already talking about something else.
Oh, no. Go ahead. I'm always interested in your comments, Doghouse. Go right ahead.
Okay. All right. Ratt. First off, you made the point. Their expiration date was nobody rides for free. And it occurred to me, I've always thought that. I mean, Detonator came out in, what, 90?
90.
Okay. I was 10 at the time. And I didn't know nothing about music, but even at the time, I'd seen the Round and Round video on MTV Classic or whatever their show was that they played videos, before the last 6 months. And when Detonator came out, I thought, man, this sounds like an old band. This sounds like a band out of their time.
Sure.
Because it was already 1990, and we were doing, Skid Row and Guns N' Roses and all that stuff. And Ratt just seemed dated.
I agree. I didn't think that album was that good, personally.
There's people that absolutely love it and say it's their best ever because it's so AOR-ish.
I don't think that at all.
Who thinks that? In my eyes, it had really one really, really good song, which was Shame. I like that tune. That sounded like old Ratt. But all the rest of it, like Lovin' You's a Dirty Job, and, and the whole second half was not very good.
I kind of like One Step Away, but that's it.
It's a little soft. That was them closing in on doing a ballad.
That's giving yourself away.
Okay. I'm wrong.
Well, it's the other Away song.
Okay.
But, I mean, and this is my whole point with bands, any band, whether it's, even bands that I like Ratt and L.A. Guns and Skid Row, anybody that's got some stupid internal dispute that they let drag on for 10 or 15 or 20 years, you know what? You don't have time to fuck around like this. Your time is up.
Yeah.
You could get out there and make the most out of what you have left, or you can sit around and do all this bullshit with phony baloney lineups and just, play, clubs with names like the Boiler Room.
Right.
Or 5 drunks doing Jaeger bombs or something.
Right. Well, Ratt is as complete as it can be, obviously, with the passing of Robin Crosby and with the addition of Carlos Cavazo. I mean, he brought a lot of fire back to the live performance, and I saw Ratt 4 times last year, and they were just awesome. I mean, they were Ratt. They sounded like Ratt. They were energetic on stage. They did a great show, and I was glad to see them. And Chris and I were on the stage. We were standing on the stage when they played in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, and we were digging it, man. We were loving that show.
Yeah, they were kick-ass. Even Bobby.
Yeah. So we were really digging it. And we were just like, man, this is Ratt. We're standing right here, and this is Ratt, And they played very well.
Yeah, they were solid.
And we were glad to see them, but the bullshit that goes on is just stupid.
Yep.
And compare that kick-ass show with me seeing them in 2005 with Jizzy Pearl and I guess Robbie Crane, and I don't know who was playing second guitar.
Probably
Robbie, right?
John Corabi,
yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they seemed bored. They
weren't a band. They were just out there performing the songs. But the band that we saw last year, they were a band.
Yeah, I mean, disputes or not, they were a band, and they had the ingredients that people wanted. And Carlos Cavazo, really, you couldn't get a better replacement because he's not just some hired gun. He is a guy from the same scene that they knew for 25 years or more.
Right. And he was a perfect choice.
Yeah, sure. And I don't know. I just want to see these bands. It's like with LA Guns when they put out Waking the Dead. Maybe if they hadn't pulled, Tracy hadn't quit or done whatever he did, whatever he says he did, instead of quitting, maybe they might have made some kind of an impact with that record, but now it's too fucking late. Doesn't matter whether he comes back or not.
Yeah, that was 12 years ago.
Exactly. And even then, that was a long shot.
Yeah, seriously. But that was a solid record, though.
That was a great one. That's my number 3 LA Guns record.
Yeah, that CD rips your face off.
Yep.
Oh, yes. But, and then, as far as Bon Jovi goes, you're totally right about casual fans. A female acquaintance gave me a stack of CDs and wanted me to digitize them for her and put on her iPod, some old-ass iPod, which is scary enough that she wants me to do it. But, and what in there was Bon Jovi's Have a Nice Day CD.
Yeah.
And I said, "You really bought this?" And she said the following words, "Well, I bought it for one song." And I said, did you like the rest of it? I don't know. I really only listened to the one song.
Yeah, she listened to Have a Nice Day.
No.
No? That wasn't the song?
No, I didn't. I remember hearing a couple tunes on it on
No, why did she buy
Boneyard
it?
back
What
in the day
song?
when it first came out.
What was the song she bought it for? Have a Nice Day?
No, the one with Sugarland.
Oh, God. Yeah, that
Yeah,
whatever that country bullshit.
Who says you can't go back or some shit like that.
I don't even know.
Yeah, but the couple songs I heard on XM back in the day when it first came out, and they were making the good faith effort of playing it for all the the 40 soccer moms that cared. I think it was called Last Cigarette or Last something or other, but even then it sucked.
Yeah.
You gotta love our fans, Chris, though. I love the brutalness.
That's realness.
Sucks.
It does suck.
I know, I agree. I'm not disputing it. I'm just saying I like the fact that there's, people out there who will actually step up and say, that sucked.
Yeah, they should.
It's not like Bill Lewis saying, man, this is the greatest new CD since they've come out with Slippery When Wet.
There's a lot of potential here.
Yeah. I'll say a thing sucked even before I really listen to it fully, and then 2 weeks later I'll hear it and then be like, hey, that's pretty cool. What album is that from? Oh, the one I just trashed. No shit. All right, that is all for the moment.
All right. Thanks for the input,
pal.
as always. See you. All right. Well, it's sad. It's a sad situation for the bands that we like to see them basically imploding.
Falling apart.
Yeah. So is Cinderella playing this Monsters of Rock cruise? I think they're going to be on there. I think they're one of the headlines.
Kiefer is maybe.
No, I think it's Cinderella is playing as well.
Rock cruise. Because I know I saw a bunch of pictures of Tom Kiefer this week on like in his rehearsal, like he's in rehearsals and he's rehearsing for solo stuff, not Cinderella gig. But let's see. I'm pulling it up right as we speak.
I watched some
Cinderella. Cinderella is third biggest on the bill.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought they were one of the headliners.
Yep.
Well, I saw some YouTube stuff of Cinderella from this past year.
Uh-huh.
And we were talking earlier tonight about people who did some vocal rehab and stuff.
Sure.
He sounded really good.
Dude, he always sounds really good.
Yeah, but there was a point there back in, I'm going to say 2006, that he was really sounding rough.
I don't think I've ever seen him sound anything less than stellar.
And I saw him doing, I saw some of the YouTube where somebody was just filming it.
Yeah.
Sounded fantastic.
Oh, that's cool.
So he really did a lot of rehab on that voice because he too was sounding like a little gravelly,
right.
too gravelly. I mean, obviously he's got that raspiness in his voice, but he was sounding rough.
We need to work on next year us hosting it instead of Eddie Trunk.
Yeah.
We got similarities. He wrote a book. I wrote a book.
Right.
You're writing a book. We probably reach as many people as he does.
He's on VH1 Classic. We're not.
Yeah, which that should give us points.
Sure. He's on satellite radio. We're not.
That should give us points, too. Our medium's not dying. His is.
Sure.
And it's his fault as far as I'm concerned.
He doesn't get along with Sharon Osbourne since it's Ozzy's boneyard.
We do.
Right.